Well, it's finally arrived. We only had to wait 2 months. Count 'em, 2 months and we are finally here. The Switch 2 has arrived and it's finally coming. And would you be surprised that this console is coming pretty soon? It is coming out on June 5th, so we don't have that long to wait. So I've just wanted to sit down and give my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2 and go into what it has to offer as a console. I'm not going to get into everything they revealed with the Switch 2. I'm just going to cover a few things here and there. I'm not going to really cover all the technical mumbo jumbo that Switch 2 has to offer, but I am here to cover some of it. And there are a few things that the Switch 2 presentation didn't go into, and I'm gonna cover a few of those things. So, what is my general thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2? I think I am decently satisfied with this console. I think it's kinda worth it. I also think it's decently priced. Could have it been a lot cheaper? Yeah, most definitely. But I think for what you're getting out of this console, it's kinda reasonable. It's a more powerful Nintendo Switch, and that's really all I need. I don't need much else more with this console. And I don't have a lot to complain about with Switch 2. The frame rate is a lot better. You no longer have to suffer with 60 frames or either 30 frames. Now you have 120 frames for a Nintendo Switch 2, so hopefully we won't have to deal with any frame drops or performance issues. And with me now bringing this up, I now think the Switch 2 is kinda justified because of that. I'm not gonna try to undermine the original Nintendo Switch. It was able to pull off a lot for a console that doesn't have a lot of power for it, but as the years have been going on, it's unfortunately not been able to run many games well. So Switch 2 can hopefully fix all the problems that Switch 1 has. And if you feel like messing around with the settings, you do have different fidelities for the Nintendo Switch 2. The original Switch has that with 180p and 720p, which is not bad, but it isn't like the highest fidelity out there. So now if you wanted to, you could have this console run in 4K quality, so that's pretty nice. And if you don't want to have the Switch 2 run in 4K quality, you have a lot of other options there too. So overall, I am decently satisfied with this console. I said I didn't really have anything to complain about. Well, I actually have one thing to complain about. I don't really like the kickstand of Switch 2. It looks weirdly finicky and it could just fall over on its face. It might not be as bad as I'm thinking it to be, but I find it weird they designed it that way. I was also kind of worried about the charging station, but it's not as bad as it looks. So moving away from that, let's talk about this interesting new feature Nintendo added to Switch 2. It's basically their solution to Discord. You can get into a group call with your friends and stream games and hang out together. It's a neat feature. I don't know if it's something I would use. You can also hook up a camera to show yourself on camera as you play games. It's something that I wouldn't really use, but knowing that it can be used for certain games on Switch 2, I might get it, might not get it. I do want to mention when your friends are streaming, it looks really laggy and chuggy. I don't know if that's something that's going to be fixed, but I don't know why it's like that. Okay, now let's get into the menu UI. It's the same. It hasn't really changed all that much for Switch 2. I was honestly expecting something new, but it's okay. There are a few little differences you can notice, but that's really all I can get. There's also the eShop. It's practically like the Switch version, but there's a few differences. All I'm hoping for is that it runs better. I almost forgot about this. Switch 2 game cards are now red. Same for the boxes too, it seems. I don't really mind this, to be honest. Finally, I want to get into a few accessories that the Switch 2 has to offer. We have the Pro Controller. It looks a lot better than the original. Unfortunately, it's still 80 bucks. Maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. We also have the grips, the strips, we also have a carrying case, and there's a lot of other accessories too. So I'm not really disappointed with the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm decently satisfied with this console, and I don't really have many complaints with it. I'm probably not getting it right away, but I'll get it somehow. Let me know what you think of Nintendo Switch 2 and what it has to offer, and I'll see you guys next time, and bye.